What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you caught the last one we did, we covered NRG, and that did so well. Thank you so much if you're rocking with us here and you were online for that one as well. But the reception was so great for a team as popular as NRG. I said, you know, I got to give the people what they want. So how about some fringe emerging region Rocket League? We're over here rocking in South America. We are on board with Lostt from the club, and they had a really dominant first event for the region, in a region that kind of finds itself in the same place it did at this time last season, where previously Complexity was so dominant that they decided to take off and jet to North America, and last season FURIA really beat up on South America as well. So they decided to go to North America, and they leave kind of this gaping hole. I think there's a lot of teams that can contend for it, though. It's not one of those regions that doesn't have any depth. We have teams like Crew Esports, who have Shad from Complexity. It's teams like Team Secret, who have some pretty sick decals in the item shop, but also picked up our boy KV1, who was on the club roster for Worlds. There's only Outliers. There's Endgame, who's on the other side of the pitch. Pretty nice little doink goal there from Lostt. And then, of course, there's the club, who I think are the team that makes the most sense to take the spot of FURIA and Complexity before them. They, as we were just talking about, let go of KV1, the 1v1 sensation, and picked up Bims, who, if you just look at rating, or just look at the stats, seemed like he didn't have that impressive of a showing, but I insist that he had a really awesome playoffs. He looks just like an incredible addition to this team. Really seems to allow Lostt in particular to do what he wants to on the ball, which is shoot and score a bunch. And we'll get there in a second. I really wanted to show some Bims gameplay, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Kind of a tough hang on the replays. Let's actually check in with him real quick. You can see what I'm talking about. Not only does he sometimes rock some pretty odd camera settings, they look pretty normal right now, but also that boost trail he uses, the noise is he likes to feather his boost, so that buzzing is going to give me an aneurysm if I keep listening to it. So let's get back over to our just iconic alpha boost here with Lostt. But speaking of Lostt, led the event in goals per game, 1.23, which is incredible. He just really is an offensive juggernaut, and it seems like the team's game plan is just give him the ball and get out of the way. 1.26 rating over the course of this, and to double down on that kind of objective of Lostt, Bims and Astramic both top 4 in this event in assists. So really it is just shoot as much as possible. And we got a 4-1 score line, so this gameplay is getting a little out of control here. But I'm really interested to see what South America is going to do with themselves over the course of, you know, the beginning of the season, but the entirety of the season as well. I think they're now past the point, still an emerging region, I suppose, but past the point of being not worth watching, which is something I did last season, was basically only watch a little bit of a jump scare demo there. But last season, really only watched North America and Europe. But that's not really something you can do anymore. We have legitimately competitive teams from around the world. Mina, of course, with Falcons and KRN over there. You know, we have some of these South American teams we were just talking about as well. OC and APAC are still exist. I don't really know if I would include them in the uber competitive list. But alas, there's too many teams for us to not focus on some of these regions. And Lostt made a really convincing argument for themselves being, you know, considered as a team to be taken seriously with their dominance in this first event. They absolutely ran endgame. The rest of the series, a little cheeky trying to get the boost here. Going to result in a demo. But the club looked really great, I guess, is to summarize all of my thoughts into one here. but there's certainly some other teams that are, you know, still competitive as well. But I think it's tough to be competitive when you have this team on the other side of the pitch. I know it's early, but based on what we saw, I don't see how anybody's really going to hang with them over the course of a series, especially if it's a best of 7. And the biggest reason for that is Lostt. He is the South American version of first killer of whoever scores a lot that you want him to be. I don't know, Atomic from G1, from Event 1, whoever you want. He just is everywhere you need him to be. He has a very unique style. You can't really slow him down or speed him up. He plays his own speed. And he was one of my favorite players to watch over the course of last Worlds event we had. Not only for his gameplay, but also for his chain, which is certainly the best in the game. It's got to be no less than 80 pounds, I would assume. I'm sure I'll use a picture of him in the thumbnail. But yeah, South America is a region we got to pay attention to. With the teams like this we have on the pitch, somebody we didn't touch on at all was, I think it's pronounced Alpi, but maybe it's Alp or Alpe. But he had a really fantastic event as well on the far side of our screen there for Endgame. Led them in a lot of ways to this grand finals. So that is it for today, guys. I really appreciate you if you're checking out this video or any of the other videos I've been producing. It's been really awesome to read all the feedback and have all the conversations that we've had about so many of these teams. Big weekend coming up for North America especially, so I'll be putting out some more videos for that region as well, my home region. But guys, thank you so much for your time, and as always, until next time, take it easy.